Welcome to Duke United Show, and this is a special for the England game. I got Steve, the big man, beside me. We're going to be talking about who we believe is going to be the starting lineup tomorrow. First England game. Steve, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. I'm excited now. I've got out of Premiership mode, and now I'm in World Cup mode. And I've got me wall chart out. I've got it stuck on the kitchen wall, and you know how it is. You know, just need to fill up my Panini sticker album. You know, things like that. But yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing who starts in England's side. I know a few in the comments have already going, let's go England. My winners are Argentina, Callum says, and Cockles Forever says England. At least we're on the same team today, Cockles Forever. Not Tottenham. Forget the Tottenham. But yeah, let's take a quick look at the England squad that's gone out there. Some big news has actually come out, not for England, but for in the World Cup in general. Benzema's out. He's not going to be involved at all. And there is a rumor that is Martial coming in. I'm not sure. I would have thought Saint-Maximin might have got a chance, but like maybe it's Martial, our boy. Keep him fit, and that's all that matters. So let's take at the start the squad. Let's take a look at the squad because Steve, I'll have a little chat to you about the Iran in a minute. But as you can see, Jordan Pickford, Nick Pope, Ramsdale, they're in there. You got Trippier, Stones, Luke Shaw, Eric Dyer, Harry Maguire, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Ben White, Kyle Walker, and Connor
Cody.
Yeah, Connor Cody at Everton. And then you've got the midfielders. You got Calvin Phillips. I don't know why they've made it mix up here. Calvin Phillips, Declan Rice. They're the two central defensive midfielders, aren't they? You got Conor Gallagher, who's in there somehow. I still don't know how he's in there ahead of everyone else. James Maddison. Then you got Mason Mount, Grealish, Henderson, Foden. I think you put Saka in there. Sterling, Jude Bellingham, and the rest of them. So with them there involved, first of all, what can you tell us about Iran? Because I know they're a good side. They're managed by a well-known person that we all know.
Yes.
And done too bad with them. And a friend of mine, he's Iranian, and he actually believes that they can beat us. So, and Football Fitness says, can't wait. Where are you watching tomorrow, Nath? I will be at home tomorrow, actually. I will be at home. I will watch from home. I've just been at work all week, so I got to get back and attend to the kids and stuff. So, yeah, I'll be watching it at home. But, Steve, what can you tell me about Iran?
Well, they're a good side. They came into the back of the World Cup, in pretty good form. They played Uruguay, who we know is a strong side with some world-class players in there, and they beat them. So to go and beat Uruguay is someone that we've got to take very seriously. They drew against, which is probably the strongest African nation in the tournament, which is Senegal. They went there and they got a draw against them. And you've already mentioned there that they're coached by a very famous ex-Manchester United coach called Carlos Queiroz, who, obviously, you might know a little bit more about them than what I would. But someone who, was integral in, Manchester United's success when he was there.
Of course he was.
This is their fifth appearance in the World Cup, so they're used to it. So they're not sort of rookies to it, and they've got some decent players, especially up front. There's few players that might be familiar to people in the Premiership. They've got Goddess of Brentford, midfield player, Jacques Bakish of Feyenoord, who's a good player. And probably their two most famous players, Mehdi Taremi of Porto and Serdar Azmouni of Bayer Leverkusen. So they're you know, they're a team to be reckoned with, and you know, England have got to take them seriously.
Definitely. I don't know too much about them, but from that kind of results that they've had recently, I'm not. It's not going to be easy. And we are going by Alex as well shortly. Alex is going to be coming on to, she's very excited about the World Cup starting, and let's get her in. Let's get her in the room. Hey,
hi, good afternoon.
Hi.
Good. I can see your England squad in the background.
Yeah,
Lovely.
I'm so excited.
My son's got Martial to go again. He just loves Martial, and he's back. He's in the France squad. That's why.
Has that been confirmed?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Oh.
I don't know yet, but we'll see. We'll wait and see. But yeah, Alex, what are you thinking about? So when it comes to the game tomorrow,
Yeah.
all about who's going to start. Who do you think is going to start based on the form, or do you think he's just going to pick his side based on who he's relied on in the past?
I think he's going to pick people that he's used in the past. I think he doesn't have the option of Walker at the moment. I think Walker's still got a couple of more games, or maybe a week before he can join again. But should we want me to just tell you off the bat who I think is going to be in there? Because I think he's going to play a back five like he usually does. I don't think he's going to do a 4-4-2, but potentially playing against Iran. I mean, no disrespect to them, but I don't think we need to play a back five playing against them. So if it's all about the formation, but I think he's going to do a back five.
Okay, so who you think is going to be in that back five then?
Well, definitely Pickford.
I think so.
Strong. I think Trippier's got to start 100%.
Yeah.
Then I think it will be John Stones. That's a no-brainer for me. With Maguire, that partnership works really, really well. Definitely have to have Luke Shaw. Oh, look at him! He looks great. Definitely have to have Luke Shaw in there. And then for me, it's got to be Brian Bellingham.
He's definitely there for me.
Yeah, definitely those two. And then you have to have Sterling. You have to have Foden, I think, for me as well. And then Kane and then Mason Mount.
You put Mason Mount in the starting lineup, yeah?
I would, yeah, I would against Iran, yeah. I think because Kane, because Mason Mount can do what you want him to do. He's that sort of water carrier player that, and in that moment, I think that we don't need all these sort of like superstar heavy hitters. We just need people that can do the bits that they need to do when they need to do them. And I think that he will fit into that sort of role very, very well.
So Alex thinks we're going to go pragmatic again and try and get as far as we can, be in as defensive as possible. Steve, what do you think? What do you think?
Well, after changing my first 11 about 5 times and getting afterwards about 5 times before kickoff, I think I've come to like a sort of a pretty good 11 that I think will start. Or I don't think this will start is what I would do. Personally, I'm not with the fact that, playing players who ain't fit or players that ain't had any game. I'm not.
Like Phillips? You mean like Phillips, yeah? Or someone like that who's not played much at all, but he is
who's not played. Who's not played or is not informed. I know we've heard a lot about people saying about how this system's worked for Southgate in the past, and they're used to the system and all. But I'm not going there. This is 2 years time and 4 years time, and so I've always been that way inclined anyway. Where I pick the team who I think are on form, and you've got to think about the heat as well out there. That's another thing to take into consideration when you're out there. So anyway, the goalkeeper for me was Pickford and Ramsdale. There's not a lot. I did first of all go for Ramsdale, but since then I've changed my mind. I'm gonna stick with Pickford, just due to the fact that he's more experienced. And he ain't been doing too bad in the Premiership, although Everton ain't been doing great. He's playing very well. As far as me back four goes, I'm sorry, I can't play Maguire and Dyer. I just can't.
Yeah, I'd never play them both. You can't.
Yeah,
do that.
No, I just can't. I can't see it for two. They're not that they're aging or anything like that, but they're not the quickest of defenders. And I think you're going to need a centre backs with a little bit of pace back there. So, and I'm not. You can say, oh, so and so is going to protect and this stuff, but no. For me, I would be playing John Stones as a centre back, and I would also be playing. There's not a choice. It's very difficult to pick who to play with Ben Stones. You've got Ben White. You've even got Connor Cody. So for me, I play the form, and that's Ben White. So he plays there. I think Trippier is a no-brainer. I think he plays right back, and I think Luke Shaw no-brainer. He plays back. The midfield, Declan Rice and Jude Bellingham. Rice more the defensive. Bellingham can do the lot, like number 8 can. This is probably where I get my front four sort of might differ. I would play Foden in the number 10. I know he has played that. Oh, you would? Okay, right. I thought I might have been on my own there.
Yeah.
But I'd play him.
No.
Now there's a reason for that, and I'll come to it at the end. I would also play Saka on the right. I'd play Grealish on the left. With Harry Kane up front. I'd play Jack Grealish on the left.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Grealish on the left.
Yeah, Jack Grealish on the left.
Steve, are you better without the headset in or what?
Oh, it's just fine. I'll come back in.
Yeah, fix them headsets. It's killing my ears. So, Alex, look, if they play 4, do you think there's just no option of him playing a 4, or with the players he's got available, or do you think if he does have the option of playing a 4, and who he would pick if he does play that 4?
What do you mean for the front?
Yeah, for the back.
For the back. I agree. There's not that. You could say that there's not a lot of range or options. However, I do think Rice improved. I think Connor Cody, he's a decent option, but I do feel like John Stones and Maguire as a centre back partnership, they work well together, and they have been working well together for a while. So I feel like they are our strongest viable option moving forward.
But if we go to a 5, why can't we play John Stones, Maguire, and Ben White?
Ben White.
And then put
you'd have Trippier up front. You'd have
I'd have him as the wing back, wouldn't I? I wouldn't have him as centre back. Yeah, I wouldn't have him as one of the 3 at the back. I'd rather have him as one that wants to get forward and cross balls in. I think he'd be better off there. I wouldn't mind that 3 if that was the team that was going to play. Not obviously, like I say, if this is a 2, I'm not playing Maguire, but if it's a 3, I'd put him in there since Walker's not playing either. I'd like to get him in there. So it depends, isn't it? It's just what you've got, and I think the best options we've got. I'm not putting Connor Cody in front of him, in front of Maguire, and I'm not. I would put Ben White because I have seen him at Arsenal doing really well. But Steve, you can finish off that front 4 if you want. Go on.
Yeah, Foden.
Foden in the hole. Yeah.
Foden in the hole. Saka on the right, Grealish on the left, and Kane down the middle.
It's not bad, to be fair. Not bad.
But I think one thing that you can do with Harry Kane and Foden's used to playing in a false 9.
Yeah.
And Harry Kane can drop into the number 10.
Yeah, that's probably better, you know. I just don't. This is the one thing I don't like about the England setup. It's like, I know Harry Kane when it comes to the pace side of things. I feel like it does make it a bit more difficult for us to do what we need to do. You know, like Man United kind of situation where we need that player who's the number 9 to have the pace and cause a lot of trouble going the other way. And I think we do lose a bit of that with England, but obviously he's still a goal-scoring machine, so he's got to play. But it does kind of make us less able to destroy teams for pace, for counter attack, and that's a great shout to put Foden, the front one, and then Kane just sitting a bit lower, where he can actually come into the game. He's been doing that a lot for Tottenham anyway, hasn't he? So that could actually do really well, and we know how quick Foden is. He can do everything, to be fair, and we need to make the best of him, because for some reason he's not the Man City Foden that we see. So the manager's got to bring the best out of him and find a position which really does suit them all.
But I still think Foden's got bags of potential. Like his ball control, the quality that possesses as a player is undeniable. I mean, and he's won, you know, a World Cup technically, like with the unders as well. So I think he's got what it takes to play tournament football. That's for sure. I just can't help but feel like Raheem should be starting ahead of Jack Grealish, though. I don't think Jack Grealish has proved himself enough for me in the England squad to like have the start position over Raheem Sterling, who like in the Euros was incredible for us, and he's had his ups and downs, but I feel like he works really well in that team. But that's just me, maybe.
So but you're right, because he has done a great job. And he has scored a few for Chelsea. It's not like he's off form completely. No, he's doing okay. So I would actually put I'd put Sterling in. I'd start Sterling just because of that. The other question is we're leaving out. Okay, so he's been in the limelight pretty much for negative reasons this year, but he's still an assist king. And if you're gonna play 5 at the back, isn't that setting it up perfectly for a Trent to come in at right back? Like, why would you not want Trent at right wing back when we can just license to go forward? You know, I don't know, Steve. What you going, Alex? Go on. You got.
No. I was going to say, yeah, I agree. I feel like he would be better as playing right wing back when Kyle Walker's there, because I think Kyle Walker's got the pace to cover for him and clean up any defensive things that happen. So I just wonder if, like, are you having John Stones in there with Trent? Is that going to work?
I don't think you put Trent with the 3. That's what I'm saying. I would just have a traditional back 3 defense centre backs, and then the wing backs can get forward and do what they're doing, and one can cover, and the other one can go. So you've got Ben White who can come into that right position. Ben White,
exactly, yeah.
You know, Maguire can sit in the middle as normal. He's going to have cover from the others, both sides of him, and then Shaw can get forward and do what he wants to do. So I think that's probably more likely going to happen. And I just don't see how, if you play that, you get the best out of the attacking players. I really can't see how you get the best out of them. When you go 5-3-2, you kind of lose your wingers. It's just, I don't know, 5-2, what is it? 5 what?
It's usually like 3, isn't it? 3 at the back, you've got the wing backs, and then you got the 2 in the middle, and then you got your wingers, and then
like a 3 kind of 2
so you
behind
like
the 1.
3, 4, 2, 1.
Yeah, it's just
that. Yeah.
I don't know, man. But,
I mean, do you play Trent Arnold just through his crossing?
Yeah,
because you don't really need him in this team to do anything else, do you?
I think even free kicks though, Steve, as well. You know, I think he's talented in those areas as well. So
100%.
Just as much as Trippier is really good at free kicks, Trent is really good at them as well. So there's that potential there as well.
But if you're playing Ben White as the right-sided centre back, I mean, he could always. He's been playing right-sided centre back all season. So when Trent goes forward, White could always drop in. You know, but you've obviously got to be very well disciplined to do that, and that's why for Liverpool. Trent is best when Konate plays because he covers him and he's an excellent defender, and he's not so much when Matip plays, which we see in the Champions League final. So there's a case for it, but I just think it's risky, and we've got so much firepower. If we're playing, you know, Bellingham plays a number 8, he gets forward, Foden, Saka, Kane, Grealish, we should have more than enough.
I think so. I wouldn't go with 5 at the back. I'd go with 4 at the back. And to be fair, Pickford gets in my defense, my goalkeeper, because of his kicking, and he's a confident lad. When you see him, he is confident, and he does. You know, he seems to be always top of his morale, and his kicking is very, very good. So I keep him in there. Ramsdale is a close second. Shaw would be my left back for sure. Ben White goes in at centre back, and it's gonna be Stones to start, and then if you can bring in someone else, then yeah. But I mean, if you can bring in Maguire off the bench to get some minutes towards the end of the game, so he can get himself acclimatized to playing regularly again, then maybe I'll throw him in. Right back, Trippier would come in. Can't find Trippier, by the way, so that's why I can't bring him up. I've got him here somewhere. He is here. Where is he? It's kind of Cody, isn't he? Well, Trippier goes in at right back. And then I'm going to have Mr. Rice at central defensive midfield. And then I'm going to put Bellingham next to him. I want him to be the number 8 who gets forward and also helps defensively. Then I'll put Foden in the hole, as we know. Foden will be there. And then it's crunch time, isn't it? Sterling's going to be on the left. I'll put Saka on the right, mate. Saka's going to have to be on it. Saka's going to go on the right and Harry Kane up front. And like you said, I'd kind of like I'd speak to Foden and Kane and say, listen, you guys interchange whenever you need to. And that should be enough, man. That should be enough to do the job. And I'll bring on a Calvin Phillips later on in the game when he gets tired. I'll bring on the Grealish when Sterling, if he's quiet. And I'll actually bring on this man here for Foden if he's quiet. You know, you think about this guy. This guy has had the most goals and assists this season, and everyone overlooked him. I'm not. You can't overlook a guy like that. And remember, you also do have this guy who's been back on form this year. And I'm so happy to see he's in the England squad. And I want to see him come on in games and actually make a difference and then push to be in that starting lineup for one of the other games. So we do have a wealth of talent going forward, that's for sure. And I think we could do all right, depending on how the manager wants to really play it.
The only thing I'd say about that, the first game is with Maddison, is there's a bit of a question mark around him because I know that he came into it with a little niggle. So I don't know if Southgate's necessarily going to play him. I don't know for how long. Maybe we come on like 15 minutes at the end if they're up and they're winning and stuff like that. I think then go and see how it progresses forward. But I would love to see him play as a number 10 role in that team. I'd love to see it 100%. Exactly. As the team goes, I'd love that.
Yeah, exactly. But look, let's go to the what you think the scores are going to be and who's going to score. So, Steve, let's go to you first. What do you think the score is going to be tomorrow in our first game? What do you think?
Well, I think it'd be a lot tighter than what people think. Well, we already said, like at the beginning, that we can't take them for for advantage because, like, they've got good players and they've got a good coach. And coming into this tournament, they've been very strong and they've had some good results against big teams. So, I'm going for probably a 1-0 or a 2-0.
Who scores?
I'll go 2-0. And I'll go if Foden plays Foden and Bellingham.
Okay, no Harry Kane on the score sheet. Okay. Right. Alex, what are you going with?
Yeah, similarly. I was thinking 2-0, but then I think because I'm just looking at that team, I don't know if they're necessarily a match for us. However, there's always times where players can switch off or anything can happen with this team. So I was then thinking 2-1. So I feel like Mehdi Taremi could score a goal against us.
Okay.
There's a potential for that.
Yeah, he's a good player, he is.
2-1, who you got as your goal scorers as well?
So my goal scorers are Harry Kane, and my other goal scorer was going to be, oh my God, Jude Bellingham.
Wow, everyone's got Bellingham on. Okay, that's both of you, yeah? Bellingham is a goal scorer now, yeah? Okay, all right.
I think he could be our player of the tournament, just to add to that. I think this kid, I've seen him a few times now playing for Dortmund this season, and he's captain of Dortmund now. And at 19 years old, he's pretty unbelievable. It's difficult enough to go over to Germany and just hit it off and start playing well. It's a very difficult league, the Bundesliga. But to go over there at 19 and captain a top side like Borussia Dortmund is something a bit no, he has to be applauded for that. And I think he's going to set this tournament alight. I really do.
I agree.
Yeah, I think he's obviously this is the time for him to really, to play, because he's been in and around the squad, but never really starting. And other players like, the Hendersons and stuff have been playing, but this is definitely time. And to be fair, I'm going with a 2-2 draw. I think Sterling and Kane are going to score, and I think we're going to draw 2-2. I think obviously the manager's not going to pick what I'm going to pick, my starting lineup. So it's not really going to be what I think. I think Iran are a very good side, and we're going to maybe underestimate them a little bit.
Did you both pick Sterling?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Yeah, I put Sterling in my starting lineup. Yeah, I don't think.
Do you not think Grealish would, just like playing devil's advocate here? Do you not think Grealish would be more suited playing with Foden because of their playing together at Man City? Where Sterling's been a little bit off form, and he doesn't really play. I know he plays on the left for England, but he's been playing on the right for Chelsea, isn't he?
Remember,
Sterling's also played with Foden though as well, like
for years.
And
that's a good point.
I just think in this instance, he for me has the edge over Grealish just because of. Yeah. You could say his form right now, but I still think he's on form, and I still think that he can really perform during this tournament. And I think he works well with Kane. I think they understand each other, and I think that is what you need in the team moving forward. I just can't see, and I know Grealish can work. I just think that it just depends on how Gareth Southgate is looking at the opposition and thinking what players will match up or get the best of the opposition player. I think. Then we'll see tomorrow when he releases that team sheet. But for me, I think he'd pick Sterling.
Yeah, you need that pace, man. You need that pace, and he brings that pace, and he does well for England all the time. So, especially in the last tournament, he was our best player pretty much. So to be fair, you can't not have him in, and he's not been off form. He's still been scoring. He's still been doing okay. He's getting used to his new team. He's not going to be scoring as much as he would at Man City anyway, because Man City are a total different kettle of fish. So, end of the day, he's on form. He's on enough form that he should be playing ahead of Grealish, that's for sure.
If Shaw's going to come forward, do you think Sterling would do a better job defending than Grealish? Yeah. I'm watching Grealish for Man City. He's a different player than he was at Villa. Very, very tuned in, very defensive minded. Very gets back, defends on the edge of the box. Will Sterling do that? Because we'll need someone on that left. I know Rashford's pretty good, isn't he, at chasing back and defending as well. I don't know if Sterling's
as well, don't they? Rashford and Shaw, of course, they work well together, but I can't see him starting ahead of Sterling. I just can't see it happening. I can see Maguire starting as well. I can't see him not playing. Can't see Sterling not playing. I can see Kane playing. I could even see him not starting Saka. I can see him putting Foden on the right and then putting Mount in the middle. I can see him doing that. That's what I think he's gonna do, But I don't want him to do it, but that's what he's gonna go with, and we'll see. We'll see how it works out, because he's a pragmatic manager, isn't he? That's the way he played as a player, and that's the way he's playing now. And he knows what he needs to do. Like I've said all the time, if you play Maguire, you have to protect him. You have to have two defensive midfielders around him. You're gonna need to maybe play at 5 at the back. So then you're going to lose a little bit going forward. So you can't really afford to go expansive or crazy with the Saka on the right and Sterling on the left. You're going to have to play a little different. And I think we know Mount does do a lot going back defensively as well. So that's why he's in the side. And I think Grealish won't start either. So I think it's just going to be more of the same of what we saw in the last tournament. I think he's just going to try and continue it and hopefully go one better this time. And I think it's going to be to his downfall. To be fair, it's not going to work. So I think
he'll play Dyer Maguire. This is my team. This is the team that I would play. Well, I'm telling you here what I would do.
But against Iran,
you?
I think that's, even if you did have Dyer and you had Maguire together, and you had, because if he's going to play 3 at the back, so you'd have John Stones in the middle of that. I don't think that's necessarily a bad option. I can see it working. I think we have You don't seem convinced. I don't.
Nah, you need cover, man. You need cover for one of them. One of them needs cover, and they're both the similar type of players. Like, they're both pretty much the same. And I don't know, if you come up against some kind of crazy skillful players, you know they're gonna have some mad crazy players up front, and you just got to be able to keep them quiet. And one gets done, you got to be able to sort the other out. You know, the other one's got to be able to cover, and I don't think Dyer's got that in him. We saw him against Tottenham when we played Tottenham. He was just easily pressed and easily, you know, makes a mistake. And I don't want that. I don't need that.
If you're playing against France, then yeah, I would be really worried because Mbappe, I mean, that would be stress and headaches. But I think with this team, I'm not playing against Iran again. It's no disrespect to them as a team, but I mean, the quality we have in our squad, I think can handle them, and I think can go on to win this game. It's just about them, getting the right combination. I really do think that it can work with them for now.
I think we'll win the game, but I just feel that if you're looking at Iran's starting 11, which is what, you know, I'm looking at what I think it will be. Their strongest area of the pitch is their forwards.
Yeah, I agree.
But I mean,
so they've got to be careful.
Well, look, final thoughts from me is, look, we might be underestimating them. I think we might be underestimating them. They did play well against Senegal. They have done well against other teams that we know are quite good. Again, USA are not a bad side either. They're gonna be. They're not the best, but they got pace all over the place. It's one of them things. We'll see in the next few games. But I just think we should not underestimate these teams. Don't think we've won before we play them. I think we need to really make it happen. And just treat them like they're France. Otherwise, we will get a struggle. So yeah, I hope we get the win. But I think we will get a draw in the first game. What's your final thoughts, Alex? Then go on. I know you're about to say something.
No, do you know what? Listen. I think this team are incredible. I love to watch them play. I think the way they gel together. I love to see the camaraderie, and I feel like, you know, I just want to be really positive and happy going into Monday. So I'm just going to say we're going to win, and we're going to do really, really well. Good.
Steve, what's your last words today?
Yeah, just, you know, tough game, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I hope he plays the right side that will, you know, we'll go and beat Iran. Like Alex said, I think we'll beat them. I don't think it'll be a problem. But I do think we'll have to be careful. Going through their side, I did look at their side, and I know, just, you know, that, you know, being guilty, repeating myself, I looked at their forward line and I thought, right, okay, now I know why you beat Uruguay. Now I know why you should have beaten Senegal, but only come away with a draw. You know, they're decent. They're decent. I can't see this being a threat. Like, I've seen 3-0, 4-0, 5. No chance. You know, it's not going to be I'm just looking forward to it. Can't wait to kick off. I'm even looking forward to today's game for, you know, to watch that Qatar versus Ecuador. You know, looking forward to that. I just hope England have a good tournament. I don't know how far we're going to get. I'm probably around the quarter-final mark. You know, if we get there, I think we would have done well. There's some really big teams in here. Brazil are going to be favourites. France, I don't know now. Benzema's going to be a big loss. You know, that could put towards their ends of this tournament. People who are picking France, maybe looking at it again now that he's gone down injured. But yeah, overall, I'm pretty sure we'll win tomorrow, but it'll be tight.
Okay, well, look.
Is it tomorrow at 1 o'clock, not 4 p.m? So
Steve told me 4 o'clock. So
it's 1 p.m. tomorrow. Yeah, because
is it?
Yeah.
It's a day's 4, isn't it?
Thanks for letting me know at the end of the show. Thank you. 1 p.m. guys. 1 p.m. We'll see you 1. Not at the end of the game. I think that was what our match reaction. That's what it was. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Got it wrong, guys. So yeah, that's all we got time for today. But look, we'll come on and we'll what happened after the game, and whoever's on, come on. You know, Alex, hope to see you on as well. Steve, hope to see you on after the game, and we'll chew the fat and see how we've come out and see what the team's been picked, and we'll see what's happening.
Come on, England.
Come on, England. Let's go. But until then, peace out.